We are starting today with the third chapter in class 12, that is human reproduction. Now, all of you are well aware that human beings are sexually reproducing. There is the sexual mode of reproduction which is found in the human beings. Also, another very important characteristic of human being is that they are viviparous. That means they give birth to the young ones, and these young ones are actually, due to the sexual reproduction, they are a combination of the parents. That means some characteristics of the paternal side and other few characters are from the maternal side. Also, the human beings show distinct sexual dimorphism. They show distinct sexual dimorphism. So we can very well or very clearly distinguish between the male and the female. Also, there is a specific pattern. That means when we study the process of reproduction in human beings stepwise, we find that the process occurs in a very systematic manner. So the first step over here is the formation of the gametes. That is, in the case of male, it is known as spermatogenesis, and in the case of female, it is known as oogenesis. So we commonly call it as formation of gametes, which is known as gametogenesis. Now, after the formation of the gametes, these gametes need to be transferred. So, the second step over here is the transfer of gametes, and it is important because unless and until the gametes are transferred, they will not be able to meet. So this process of the transfer of gametes is known as insemination. That is, since we know that the male gamete is motile whereas female gamete is stationary, so the movements or the process that involves the transfer of the male gamete, which is sperm, to the female gamete, that is the egg, that process is known as insemination. After the process of insemination, that is the transfer of the gametes, then the fertilization happens, that is the fusion of gametes. So the gamete, when they meet, they fuse. These gametes are haploid structures. So this process of the fusion of gametes is known as fertilization. This is known as fertilization. After the fertilization has happened, there is formation of the zygote. And this formation of the zygote leads to the further development of blastocyst. That means the zygote will develop as blastocyst. So let me write over here, the fertilization leads to the formation of zygote, and that leads to the formation of blastocyst, and this blastocyst has to reach to the uterus and get fixed or embedded in the uterine wall for its further development. So the formation of the blastocyst and it has to get embedded in uterine wall, that is uterus. We call it in uterus. That process is known as implantation. Now, after the implantation has been done, the development of the embryo takes place until the full baby is formed. So here, when we study further the development of embryo, this takes place within the uterus, and that is known as the gestation. The gestation period in the case of human beings is 9 months. After successful gestation, a fully developed baby is formed, and this baby has to be pushed out of the uterus. So this process of the birth of a baby is the next step. So the birth of baby, and that is known as parturition. These are the various events that occur systematically. That is, first the formation of the gametes. The second is the transfer of these gametes to form, I'll write it over here, that is insemination. The third is the fertilization, that is the fusion of these gametes or the syngamy, formation of the zygote and the formation of the blastocyst subsequently, and the implantation, so that is the fourth point. Then the development of the embryo to form the baby is the gestation, and this is parturition, that is the sixth step. So the pattern of the reproduction is a very systematic pattern in the case of human beings. Now, in this, when we are talking, it is important for us to understand the male and the female reproductive system. So here, we first start with the development or the structure of the male reproductive system. Before that, we also should understand that the reproductive phase in the case of human beings start approximately between 11 to 13 years, that is on the attainment of puberty, when the secondary sexual characters are developed. Also, various changes in the body are taking place. Now, let us study about the male reproductive system. The male reproductive system is situated in the pelvic region. So it is situated in the pelvic region. The pelvic region is the area below the abdominal region. So the entire system is present below the abdominal region. Also, there are certain, when we study the male reproductive system, we are putting them into two types. That is, let me write over here male reproductive system. That is, it is having primary sex organ and secondary or accessory sex organs. Now, the difference between the two, the primary sex organs are completely involved in the production of the gametes and the production of the hormone, whereas there is no production of gametes over here and neither the hormones are produced over here. They are the system, or these accessory or the secondary sex organs are the structures that enable the development of the sperm, which is the male sex gamete or the gamete of the male. Now let us talk about the primary sex organ. It is the testes. And the testis, there is a pair of testes which is present in the male, and the function of the testis is, first, there is formation of the gamete, or we can write it is the site for the formation of gametes. So this is the site for the formation of gametes, and the gametes over here means sperm. The sperm are haploid structure. We'll study the detailed structure of sperm in the later part. Second important function, it secretes sex hormones, and these hormones are actually responsible for the secondary sexual characters which are found in the male, and these characters develop during the puberty. The secondary accessory sex organs we divide them into accessory ducts. And as I explained, they do not have a role in the formation of the gametes, neither they are secreting the hormones. So accessory ducts, then we have accessory glands, and third is external genitalia. Now, accessory ducts are over here epididymis, then it's vas deferens, and third is urinogenital duct. Epididymis, vas deferens, and the urinogenital duct, these are the accessory ducts. They are not playing a role in the formation of the gametes or any hormone secretion. They are the ducts which allow the transfer or the movement of the sperm inside the male body. The accessory glands, when we are talking, there are certain glands who secrete or who they are the site for the secretions which are added along with the sperm and these the secretions help in the movement of the sperm, and also it nourishes them. So there are glands which specifically have the role in it. First is the prostate gland. Seminal vesicle, and third is a pair of Cowper's gland, or we also call it as bulbourethral gland. Now these secretions, that is the prostate gland, the seminal vesicle, and a pair of Cowper's gland or a bulbourethral gland, both are meaning the same. These glands help in easy movement of the sperm. And the external genitalia over here is the penis, through which the secretion, that is the urine, is also passed, and also it is the site for the release of the sperm. In the next video, we will be talking about in detail the structure of the testis. Thank you.